This is a booty call. This is just a booty call. Calling out the booties. Dub-a-dub-a-dub. Wubba-lubba-dub-dub. Alright? Let's see. Truly. Dub-a-dub. Wubba. Truly. Lubba-dub-dub. Truly. Dub-a-dub. Wubba. Truly. Lubba-dub-dub. Cow, 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 cow. Poo, 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 poo. Truly. Dub-a-dub. Wubba. Truly. Lubba-dub-dub. Okay, we don't need any feedback. Sounds like the audio is working. For now, until the fucking stream gets cut, or blocked, or some bullshit happens. But today I want to talk about, I've got a bee in my bonnet about philosophy. You'll notice this yin and yang thing is a common motif in a lot of the whatnots and the what have yous. And the bee in my bonnet today, it comes out of the concept of debt, because I went back and looked at yesterday's audio check when I started talking about debt, and I want to sort of explore the concept of debt as it pertains to the means by which the universe is designed to flow. The aggregation of debt, the accumulation of quote-unquote wealth is a natural abomination. And let me explain why. And I hope, because of my computer situation, my compy, the likelihood that I can do a whole lot in terms of streaming streaming stuff off the internet, and there's a lot of complications to me being able to do this, and the fact that I'm able to pull it off ever is a freaking miracle. Okay, when it comes to, so just jumping right off into the concept of debt, the exchange of money, and the way currencies work, the way like breaking it down to its simplest forms, its simplest components. We live on God's earth, right? We are created. We are the created manifestation of a creator. There's going to be some bullshit going on here. Hold on. And my fucking stream keeps cutting out. still going? Are we still going? Is it still going? Holy balls, still going? Is it still going? Holy balls, still going? None of the fucking... oh, goddamn. Let's see what else. Let's see what else happens here. I just want to talk about fucking yin and yang philosophy. That's all. Ay caramba. I mean, I really don't. I don't care what it means. I fucking care what it means. That these retards are doing what they're doing right now. But let's try to get into it. Let's try. There's going to continue to be distractions. Why? Because I'm streaming. The choice to participate in the faggotry that is being done right now coincides directly with the fact that I decided to start streaming. This dumb nigger faggot shit would not be happening if I hadn't sat my ass down and started streaming. And it really makes me wonder what the significance and importance of what they're doing is, according to them. Oh, why? Oh, gee whiz. Gee willikers. I mean, maybe there's something big is being planned. Maybe something significant. I don't know. Okay, debt. The flow. The accumulations of debt and wealth. So debt is the negative, and wealth is the positive, right? The yang and yin components of God's reality involves and requires flow. It requires that things remain in a state of constant vibration and propagation. Like a river, or like time moving forward. There's a lot of different things that abide by these principles, and they are universal principles. They apply to physics, they apply to all manner of philosophy, music, vibration and resonance. You wouldn't have, let's say, for instance, computers and the technologies that are embedded in communications. They're based on vibration and resonance, antennas, all of this stuff. Okay. What is unnatural is the tendency for people to hold it in, to try to entrap or to enslave or what am I trying to say? What did you say you were up to? You're going to be doing Barshkarsh groups? Peer support groups instead of in the office over there?
Yeah, they have training for the caseworkers next week.
And those are in the morning, right?
The caseworkers?
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 to 12.
Okay. So there's some change of plans or something going on. Whatever. Maybe right now is a perfect time in the afternoon to move a bunch of shit and make a bunch of noise. I don't know. It is a great coincidence. I love coincidences because there's really no such thing as a coincidence. And this plays into synchronization and what I'm talking about in terms of resonance and correspondence. Okay, so if you think about wealth storage, it's like, and Louis C.K. did a really good, he had a whole bit that he did on, I think, Tonight Show or something, where he described why he does not intend to pass on his wealth to his children. I'm sure it was mostly a bit, some truth involved there, but he was like, yeah, I'm so broke, like I bought a boat, but I don't have any money to maintain it. What's the point of giving all your money to your kids? The likelihood that what are the chances that child is not going to turn out to be a piece of shit? And he says that in front of Letterman, or Jay Leno or whoever the fuck it is. And so this nepotism and wealth accrual and this whole fucking system where you pass on your wealth to your progeny, you accumulate a whole gargantuan shit ton of it, just so, it makes sense in terms of basic survival. So let's say you were raised as a feral child by wolves, and you don't want to leave your children to literally wolves, so you give them the tent that you built, or something to that effect. Something to the effect of preventing total chaos as a means or a manner of passing something on to your children. That's understandable. But what we're talking about are people with 12 houses, private islands, fucking the accumulation of wealth at the top at this point is as in the film Captain Fantastic. It is an obscene display. It is not necessary. It's even in my life is the living, breathing example of the fact that you do not need most of the shit that people invest their lives trying to acquire. Okay. And so, in the way this interfaces with reality in terms of yang and yin philosophies is when you have wealth versus debt, and you mess up the flow, you're creating turbulence. You're creating a shit ton of turbulence, like a whirlpool. If you've never seen one, in a river as it's flowing, as a river flows, you'll see where there's something that is blocking the flow, is where there's turbulence. So the flow, and Louis C.K. does this in his bit. He says, holding on to wealth is like holding your breath. Like, this is my air. This is my air. Mine. I'm going to keep it. Instead of doing the natural thing, the ins and the outs, and the up and the down, and the, you know, the waves, and the, like, the nature is by design requires these synchrony processes. And the absurdity of the accumulation of wealth is something that is for it's fed a bed, let's just say. There was something else. So it's not just, oh yeah. So I had a couple of bees in my bonnet. And for anybody who for the kids out there, there's things for the kids that I need the kids to know. All you youngsters, all you young bucks, you buckaroos. One very important thing that I'm just going to write off the bat. I have been listening to, I have this out of like 66 by accident, 66 files that I listen to in terms of audio, like books, and for like I'm listening. I have Friedrich Nietzsche, like the first couple of passages, a couple of chapters of Beyond Good and Evil, which I have a lot of fucking criticism about. And maybe when I get to the point of fucking writing down my philosophies for the future generations. Who the fuck decided that Friedrich Nietzsche was this stellar fucking philosopher who deserved the level of reverence that he's been given? I understand he's a really smart, was a really smart dude, but the level of investment of, like, let's say, academics and intellectuals into his philosophy is really fucking suspect. And just like the first couple of chapters, what you do is, what is your responsibility actually as a philosopher is to, when you read Plato, when you read Schopenhauer, whenever you're like examining your predecessors and their accolades and their intentions in terms of digesting the meaning of reality and producing something for the world to interpret, is you take it and you pick it apart and then go, okay, this is what he meant, here's where he's wrong, and you know what I'm saying, so on and so forth. Terrence McKenna, you do the same. If you're an honest person, you're not going to be like, oh, everything he said's fucking gospel truth. No, you're going to criticize, which is your responsibility to them. Your responsibility to philosophers. If you're going to philosophize, you have a responsibility to shit on their fucking bullshit. Otherwise, you're not doing your job. Okay, so at some point I'm going to get into just the 2 audio chapters of Beyond Good and Evil. When I'm listening, and maybe it could be a flaw in the translation from German, I doubt it, but it could be. There are specific things, and where I think they're called red herrings. I forget what red herring means. Let's fucking look it up. A fallacious approach. Something that misleads or distracts from a relevant or important question. Misleads or distracts. Possible. Okay, so that might be what I'm talking about. There might be another word for it. You decide. There are little assumptions. So a statement will be made, let's say, and I'm going to keep it really simple, a statement about the quality of concrete. You could be describing the quality of concrete, the effectiveness, the sturdiness of it, and then in so doing, you're making a claim about why this particular concrete should be used, etc. And in all of the rhetorical jargon that you are producing, that you're like to broadcast your message, you'll slip in something like, and that's why, like this amount of cement is blah blah blah, and you just say it, and it could be false. So you have a flow of information, but inside of that flow, you've put something, and you may have just maybe a lack of attention that, like, your own fault. It's like maybe Nietzsche didn't intend, he just made this assumption, and it went by, and it was a part of the whole, but he missed an important thing by assuming this to be true. And I'll get to, at some point, I'll get to what I'm talking about specifically, but you have to not allow those little kernels to become pearls, because that's how we end up with bullshit. So we end up with a whole fucking bunch of bullshit. And I don't know, the whole God is dead thing? I mean, come on, guys. God is dead, we've killed God, and now it is our responsibility, and there will never be enough water to wash away the blood, and blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Sorry. All bullshit. In the 20th, into the 21st century and the development of communications technologies is the evidence that the practical aspects of the grand watchmaker are still at play. The unseen calculating forces. And this segues directly into, let me get Rage Against the Machine out of the way. Young ones, little babies, get your ass on their first album, Rage Against the Machine, 1991. Zach De La Roca, of some sort of, I think, Hispanic. So their debut self-titled album is all I'm talking about. You don't need anything else. Anti-authoritarian, anti-capitalist, revolutionary. Like, you have stuff in there that is talking about, like, a fistful of steel, mind full of fire and a fistful of steel, where he cleverly pairs the idea of a microphone and a gun. He's like a 44 full of bullets, and he's saying like, rage against this fucking machine. And you are doing your job, even though the faggot, nigger, faggot, nigger, faggot, nigger, faggot, nigger, faggot, nigger, faggot, faggot, nigger, 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 faggot, federal agents who are only niggers and only faggots and can never ever be anything besides a nigger and a faggot. And the confidential informants that they use, even though they have a job, which is to be a nigger and a faggot, your job as a revolutionary is to counterbalance. Iron sharpens iron. So history depends on you to get fucking excited and mean it. Don't get racial about it. Know your enemy. And let's look at the track list of the fucking self-titled. It's so good. And I just fucking listen to it like a mantra. I'm like, oh, they were right in 1991? 34 years ago, every single thing that was written and produced in that original album is still relevant today. Every lyric, every beat. Maynard James Keenan does a guest spot on Know Your Enemy. And they had influences all throughout the rock world. There's Evil Empire. Now, the first one... Okay. Track list. Self-immolation. Like, this is their fucking... Like, this is the revolutionary mindset. The willingness to fucking martyr yourself. Because this is an image of the Tibetan monk. The situation with the niggers and faggots in the fucking China. I don't mean all Chinese people. I mean the authoritarian faggots of the Communist Chinese Party. Hi Xi Jinping. Hi Winnie the Pooh, Zaboo. If you're wise, you'll recognize that you're doing your job, and I'm doing mine. It's a revolutionary. So this image is of because they being. I mean, I'm saying nigger and faggot is just a simplification. It's an oversimplification of the fact that these authoritarian fucking just like fascist, brutal, hateful, militant-minded, and by necessity retarded, because if you're militant-minded, you have to be retarded. You cannot think for yourself. It's baked in. They went, just look up the whole history of Tibet and what the fuck is going on there. This is an image of rebellion against the authoritarians in China. I think. I might be wrong about that. So correct me if I'm wrong. But the track listing... Where's the fucking track? Okay, bomb track. Killing and then, featuring Know Your Enemy. Know Your Enemy. Know your enemy. Okay? Your enemy is not just a person who has white skin. Don't be retarded. Just because somebody has a lighter skin tone than you does not make them your enemy. Just because somebody has a darker skin tone than you does not make them their enemy. That is so fucking stupid. The enemies are the ideological they who are motivated by these ideological cancers, these tumorous, fascist, communist, fucking totalitarian bullshit motherfuckers. And it might even be too late that if you're signed a contract to join the armed forces, or you don't know your fucking rights and realize that you're being blackmailed. If a cop approaches you and says you're going to spend this amount of time in jail, anybody in that stupid fucking system approaches you and says you're going to work for us or you're going to do this is going to happen, they're blackmailing you. That is the definition of blackmail. If any person, and you could probably go back and sue, get a lawyer, any person who's been offered a plea deal is the victim of blackmail. Okay? Plea bargains are the concrete basis of what our quote-unquote justice system has become. There's a point in my saga where I was genuinely hated this idea of the prosecutor making the fucking deal. And I want the judge to do the judge thing. The judge is a cosmic, earthly representation of God. The whole universe. You have the judge, God, Satan, the prosecutor. Okay? The accuser. And when you get into what that all means, what that means, Because you know, the light, the balance, the judge is the fulcrum, the scales of justice. I genuinely, every single time I was like, you know what, I guess, I didn't want to run out of time and die, but like, I guess they could keep me in a fucking cage until I get to the point where the judge can make an honest and informed decision using rational, logical fucking philosophical principles, the things that they studied in fucking college. Like, why are 90 plus percent of people who are inside of one of these cages, called jails and prisons, but they're cages, just fucking stop using their words, are there because of the decision of a prosecutor, the decision of the Satan, the accuser. Okay? Maybe we should return the power to the judges. Maybe judges should be deciding 90+% of who goes into a fucking cage or not. Wouldn't that be nice? And there's an argument to be made, well, the judge signs off on the plea deal, and therefore, yada yada, and the judge has ultimate authority, yeah, okay. Whatever you have to do to justify it to yourself, but you know I'm right, and you know this shit is off the fucking rails, and that it can be returned and restored. And until it is, I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. I'm doing my job. You know? I'm doing my job. I'm doing my job. Oh, did you know, totally unrelated to anything I've said so far, that they have... So first of all, you don't need... you don't need to purchase... you don't even need the ability to purchase a firearm, to purchase ammunition for a firearm. This is very valid and important information. And also, shotgun shells in particular can be used and to, you know, they have the effect of being non-lethal in many cases. So, like, if you go back to Dick Cheney, remember Cheney? You go back to, there was a point, just look it up. Well, here, I'll look it up for you. I know everybody's getting lazy with this AI shit. Cheney shotgun. Fucking Dick Cheney hunting accident, 2006. The Vice President of the United States, it was a Texas attorney. How do you like that? Okay, shot Harry Whittington while participating in a quail hunt. The incident was called an accident. The incident, so this is before, 2006 was not an era of, am I still going? We still going here, folks? Still going? Holy balls, still going? Seems loud. I hope it's not too loud. Booty call. Rudy McTootie, my booty. I don't know which side of the tangent fucking thing I'm on right now, but the guy apologized. So this is hilarious because I don't know if this guy's innocent. This Harry Whittington guy, like if he was a real estate investor, so he's dead now. Of course, he was probably died of old age. He was How do you accidentally shoot a politician in the face, neck, and torso? So this is what I'm saying. I'm sorry I'm laughing. The Vice President of the United States shot somebody in the face with a shotgun. And Harry Whittington, in making a public statement about it, apologized to him. Let me repeat that. Dick Cheney didn't publicly apologize. It was referred to as an accident, but Dick Cheney did not apologize. The guy who was shot in the face with a shotgun apologized to Dick Cheney publicly. This is the shit this is the world we fucking live in. And I just want to just bring that up as an example because you can procure. Let's see if they have information about this. Oh, look, they even have a fucking... It's in Russian. Oh, that's not what I was looking at. Some are designed open bolt. Okay, so that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for you can go on YouTube. All you need is a pipe. A pipe that fits a couple of pipes, and you can you can purchase ammunition. B, all you need is a couple of pipes and some level, some maybe 90 IQ, and you can figure out how to have your own little portable shotgun to use whenever necessary in self-defense or in defense of your country by against communist invaders, or just in it for any defense purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to prevent those who have lethal means, state-sanctioned means of causing lethal harm to you. Every human has the God-given right to self-defense. But what you really got to do is let's just get into it. And I'm talking to the kids here. Adults, shut the fuck up. If you're 30 or younger, that's who I'm talking to. Because all the adults are niggers and faggots at this point. Most of them. COVID proved it. COVID proved how fucking weak you bitches are. Fucking weak ass motherfuckers. And you could use that anger like what they forced you to do. It's what we're 5 years on. So some of you were not legal adults, and you now have come into a situation where you can look back and like, these motherfuckers forced us through that because we couldn't make the choice for ourselves. And then later on, keep that fucking fire in your mind. Because you're going to grow. People are going to end up becoming adults, and they're going to look back and go, holy fucking shit. These pussy ass motherfuckers tried giving up my country over a cold? My country, your country. You have a God-given right to this country. It is yours. It's not owned by BlackRock. It's not owned by fucking anybody. You have a God-given right to this. You are a stakeholder in this country. Do you understand? Keep the fire in your mind. When you go back to figure that shit out. Okay. Yang and yin. Now, the prosecutor being the cosmic prosecutor. Actually, let's do both. So let's investigate first of all what this means in Chinese philosophy. It's one of the oldest philosophical principles, and it exists in some form in all religions. Interconnected, self-perpetuating cycle, complementary. The universe creates itself out of a primary chaos or primordial key, material energy. So let's take just this first part, and let's talk about what the fuck, bitch. Let's talk about Christian cosmology. Okay? The universe creates itself out of yada yada. The earth was a formless chaos. The dark waters of the chaos, the earth was formed out of. You see how easily that transfers? That, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a formless void, and which is yin, and then yang is the repelling, active, expansive principle. That would be the God principle, and the balance comes from the constant interplay between these things. Now, in Christian theology, there is the element of chaos being the accuser. Okay, you have Hasatan, you have so in Christian cosmology there was, and they still refer to it as the God of this world, the enemy. Like God's people are in enemy occupied territory. The world is itself a fallen place, and the role of Christ, was the Redeemer, was to come into the world and remind people where they come from, so that they can escape this fucking hell. But by and large, it is managed or maintained in a sense like Vishnu in the Hindu religion. There's a maintainer, and all of these forces are in constant flux and flow and interplay. Okay, so how does this relate to our present situation. Well, or more in particular, let's see if I can go. The etymology is what we want to look at here. Christianity and Islam. Fallen angel, seen as a fallen angel who has rebelled against God. So it's as though the material chaos of the earth has embedded within it this agent of rebellion against the primordial ordering principle. Now, the word itself, figure known as Hasatan, thus Satan, first appears in the Hebrew Bible as a heavenly prosecutor, subordinate to Yahweh, who prosecutes the nation of Judah in the heavenly court and tests the loyalty of Yahweh's followers. Tests the loyalty. Okay, so tying these two things together, let's assume that, let's go with Yahweh is the light principle, the yang principle, and I can't do this. I can't do this at the same time. Fucking, by looking at the fucking mirror. And then Satan is the accuser, the prosecutor. For me personally, I think this is what I wanted to get to. For me personally or individually, my journey has been a spiritual journey of warfare, waging war against Satan the faggot. Sorry. I mean, I'm not sorry. I can't, like, I would never apologize for like defending God and human rights and creation. Why would you apologize for that? I do apologize for those whose feelings get hurt by my words. Okay, that is a vector of apology. I will confess the sin of having perturbed and caused spiritual perturbations and a sense of harm to people who are in certain ways bystanders, like collateral damage in a way. Like, if this is, because this is a spiritual war, it involves words, logos, language, and I must remain nonviolent or else I fail. If I do not achieve my goal by abstaining from the methods that they employ, then I will have become the enemy, and I do not want that. However, the enemy is a force that is in constantly perseveres, in the sense that the sense of being watched comes from that, like this sense of paranoia and of persistent, like looking around, looking over your shoulder, and for me to constantly calculate possible vectors of attack. If I'm wrong 99 times, and like let's say for instance I'm wrong about the fucking the air compressor over here, I do want to know if I'm wrong about there being a powerful computer rather than an air compressor that has a purpose. Because there, in terms of just basic like technological and industrial knowledge, there's no reason for an air compressor to be over there other than to air up the tires of the fucking golf cart. Holy shit. Maybe that's it. Maybe they have an air compressor in their garage and they use it to air up the tires on the fucking golf carts. Well, anyway, if I'm wrong 99 times, but I'm right once, the one time out of all the fucking freaking out that I do, if I'm right once, I've saved my life. I've literally am in a position of saving my own life. And the accuser, Satan, operating through all the myriad vectors, my sense, the paranoia comes out of recognizing each of those attack vectors, if that makes any sense. So where there is a possibility of attack, my mind is calculating that possibility, and it's spiritual, fucking physical, everything. And I have been right, for sure. Let's say there's been 100,000 like vectors of attack that Satan and his minions and the poor minds that he possesses, the poor fucking Matrix like agents, like guys like you are. I wish you could see it from my point of view, because that the Matrix is a real, like, temporarily inhabits. I'll just point out this the way, because you can reference it even still in modern mythology, and Denzel Washington, being a Christian, has an entire career dedicated to an amazing man, like in terms of like the things that he's done for humanity through his work and through his art is incalculable. I think he rivals the contributions of actual saints. First of all, I want to prove that he's a Christian. Holy shit, Texas. Look at all this. Maybe Texas is just like the fucking Zion of American freedom lovers. Maybe that's what's going on here. Of God's love. Like it's the American Zion of people, like patriots. Who the fuck knows? Okay, hold on. So there's a very particular point where it mentions his belief, like the Book of Eli. Just that alone. So it's give us his life story. There we go. He's a Pentecostal evangelical Christian. Cool. Considered becoming a preacher. So he says, a part of me still says, maybe, Denzel, you're supposed to preach. Maybe you're still compromising. No, dude, you fucking got it. You nailed it. Anyway, so yeah, Denzel Washington, Christian through and through, and there's a movie. Where the fuck is? Where are his fucking the full list of his movies? The one that I'm thinking about. So it must be on this page. Credits and accolades. Here we go. No. There it is. Jesus Christ. I forgot the name of the movie. That's why I'm looking it up. I believe it was in early. Maybe it's this one. I think this is it. On death row is Reese. Okay, so Philadelphia Police Detective John Hobbs, Denzel Washington, visits serial killer Edgar Reese, whom he helped to capture on death row. As Reese is about to be executed, Reese is in high spirits, during conversation grabs Hobbs by the hand and delivers a spiteful monologue in an unknown language, assumed to be gibberish but later identified as Syrian and Aramaic. As he is executed, Reese mocks the spectators and sings "Time Is on My Side," okay, by the Rolling Stones. Okay, so in the plot, basically, watch the movie Fallen. And this is, created by Denzel Washington, an amazing creator. In the film, you see the perspective of a disembodied demon creature going through people's minds and temporarily occupying them in a manner that they express. Like, there's an expressive aspect that comes out of them that they are unconscious of. Okay? Now, I have seen this, and I fucking see it all the time. And the unconscious aspect of it is the fucking terrifying aspect of it. It's the Agent Smith thing. So, like, in The Matrix, the demon occupies you physically, and if you end up getting shot or killed, the demon leaves, but then you're dead, right? In this movie, The Fallen, the people are like temporarily doing things, and then they don't recall doing them immediately afterwards. And Hobbs, the main character, is watching this happen, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And so his whole thing is like ends up being, I don't want to spoil it, but spoiler alert, it ends up being not a criminal detective situation, but a situation where he's literally hunting to kill a demon. And it's fucking wild. And this is how it works. I'm not going to apologize anymore for having a sense of spirituality. This is why you'll see so much negativity out of me, because of the accuser, the spiritual force that I'm fucking fighting, that fucking Satan, the Lord of this world, that I actually saw with my own fucking eyes in my sister's kitchen during like one of the peak moments of this stuff. Out of the corner of my eye was a man with a like dark fucking with a hat on. He was like a businessman. Weird shit, dude. Weird fucking stuff. it's possible for a person to have a perception of this realm and remain constitutionally capable of engaging in the aspects of studious scientific rule of parsimony, kind of composure. Not very many of us. There aren't very many of us, but it's possible. And so, like, the fact that they have managed to basically put everybody in a position of just totally disbelieving. How fucking insane is that? That you, like, what did they say? The biggest trick the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. Well, how fucking sinister is it that in order to believe what I'm saying, or to even consider it as possible, the psychiatric Chelsea Fowler, the psychiatric institutions have convinced you that any of this must be the machinations of a crazy person. The psychiatric institutions have replaced what is primarily a spiritual aspect of humanity. You go to sit with your fucking counselor, who is not an ordained priest, in order to confess your sins. Okay? Like, we still have it. All the light is here. We can still gather it. Let's do it. Let's fucking gather the light. I think I've said all I want to say today. Besides the fact that I love you. Like, I don't care who you are. Even if you're possessed by Satan. Even if you are temporarily possessed by the fucking creep. The freakish fucking creep who believes that it can usurp the throne of God. I love you. I do. We can have a chit chat. We can look each other in the eye like man to man, woman to woman, and get on with our lives. What else? No, that'll do. That'll do, Watson. Cheerio, mate.